Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Market Outlook series with me, Kavita Agrawal, the founder of eInvest. Every week, we are here to talk about the Nifty's price action, the Bank Nifty's price action. We'll also take a detailed look at other sectoral indices to get an idea of what has happened this week and what does that tell us about next week's price activity so that we can stick with our motto of making objective decisions in the market. Now, before I start, just a little thought that I'd like to share that in the market, you don't have to find something new to do every day. You don't need new strategies. You don't need new techniques to win. The real test of the market is consistency. How consistent can you be with whatever it is that you follow through the times, especially through the times when it feels very difficult or it does not yield results for you? Consistency is the key. And yes, sometimes the market is going to shine upon us. Sometimes it's going to work in our favor. Sometimes it may not work in our favor. One or another, what matters is that you are consistent, you are staying with your strategy, and you show up every single day. So, with that, let me share my screen and let's get started with Nifty's analysis. As always, I'm going to start with the 3 minute time frame of Nifty, and this is pretty much the activity of this week. So, this was Monday, and last week we saw that Nifty got like a booster shot from this level of 24,125, and since then the market has been up. Now, in the last week's episode, I told you 24,800 to 24,900 is our resistance zone, and we can see price has achieved that resistance zone. Is there anything negative developing on the chart in this range? Let's see. So on the 3 minute time frame, what I'm seeing is that the real peak was forged just yesterday when a Nifty tested the level of 24,831. Now, today's entire price activity, if you see, we are basically still at the same level of the high hasn't really been breached. But if you look at the RSI activity, what is it suggesting? It is suggesting that the level of ST is now acting as resistance. Now, that is a little bit, just a tiny little bit negative because that causes or that forms a negative divergence. The good thing is that on the downside, the level of 40 is still being maintained pretty well. Now, what is the key support? Very short term, next 1-2 days, it's around the level of 700. So that becomes key support for us basis this previous real peak. If this gets breached and if the 3 minute time frames are comes below the level of 40 and starts spending more time there, then we would expect the next support of 24,400 to get activated and tested in the next leg of downside if one occurs. So we have a 50% signal here, not a complete signal, that even in the next 1-2 days trading activity, we might experience a bit of a halt in momentum. Now, coming to the 15-minute time frame. What does a 15-minute time frame tell us? 15-minute time frame is also suggesting that this underlying momentum, which started with this positive divergence that we noticed last week, the strong momentum that has started from this positive divergence forged or completed on the 13th/14th of has been played out in the market. The target of 24,800 to 900 has been achieved in Nifty. And now on the 15-minute time frame, also there is a tiny little negative divergence forged. So this also suggests the same thing, that 24,700 might act as an intermittent support. If that gets breached, then as per this time frame, I would say the real peak lies at this level of 24,600. So this is around 24,600. This is also an intermittent support for the index. Coming to the 75-minute time frame, taking a very close look at the price. Now, here you can also see the trend lines. Now, this yellow trend line and this yellow trend line basically is what the index is currently respecting. And the price activity that we are right now working with is actually a very small time frame. Now, on the 75-minute time frame, it's important to notice that the momentum is clearly a little bit weaker because your real high was established around the level of 24,181, which by the way has been tested. So as long as the market continues to sustain above the level of 24,000, I think the market momentum continues to remain pretty bullish. Here 25,100 is also a resistance, gets breached, we can expect the market to rally up to 25,004. Now I know that everything that I'm saying is full of ifs and buts, But that's what the market is doing right now. It's giving a little bit of a mixed signal to us. Coming to the daily time frame, what is the daily time frame doing? Again, daily time frame is telling us that hey, the momentum is really strong. This was a tiny little dip that you have nothing to worry about whatsoever, and the trajectory of the overall index continues to remain pretty strong. Volume activity is also suggesting pickup on the upside than the downside. So the underlying momentum continues to stay very strong. Next week, we might experience a little bit of a bumpy ride, but I continue to remain very bullish on the market. So, what is the executable strategy? What is the actionable advice? What do we do in such a market condition where some rally has come? Most of you might have missed out on a lot and might be waiting for a dip to purchase. See, my funda is very clear. Since I am a swing trader in the market, my objective is that when the broad market gives me positive signals or when individual stocks are giving me positive signals, invest your capital, wait for the turn, keep trailing your stop losses, and then book your profits with either trailing stop losses, or if you see a signal that outright tells you that there might be a massive correction in either the broad market or in the specific stocks analysis. So we have to keep tabs on everything. Now let's move on to our indices. So I'm going to pull out my watch list of indices and we will start with the Bank Nifty. I want to take a quick look at FMCG. Then we will move on to infra. We'll take a quick look at energy, finance, media, metal. Let's also take a look at consumption. After Bank Nifty, I also want to take a look at PSU Bank, Pharma. There is CNX Services. I want to look at after consumption, and what else is left. Healthcare and pharma, I want to look at after one another. So these are the indices that we are going to cover. So coming to Bank Nifty. So like I said on the Bank Nifty previously also I said last week that I'm expecting resistance to come in at the level of around 51,300, and we can see Bank Nifty edging towards that level very slowly. But overall, I am not seeing very strong momentum in Bank Nifty here. So might be that we experience a little bit of a downside, because if you look at this volume MACD histogram, what this is suggesting is that this upside has not really been well received with high participation. So we might experience a little bit more correction in the Bank Nifty before the rally resumes. Also, as per the daily time frame, the real peak has already happened around here, which is 48,300. So I am expecting this level to again get retested on the Bank Nifty before a big rally begins. So my advice for banking stocks is that tread very carefully. Moving on to the PSU Bank. So PSU Bank, as I can see here, the real high occurred at this level. Basically, what I mean by the real high is very simple, that the momentum peaked out. After the momentum peaks out, the price continues to rally or move upward, just like a train keeps moving on the tracks even if the engine is turned off. So this is movement that occurs out of inertia. And here the real high has been tested in the PSU Bank. Also, the PSU Bank RSI, if you see, is in a very strong bull range. So we might be interested in looking at some PSU public sector banks for short term opportunities at this point, because this is looking good. Taking a quick look at the 75. So the 75-minute time frame is showing a tiny bit of a positive divergence, which does mean that this weekend I will be paying attention to PSU Bank, something I haven't said in a very long time. Moving on to pharma, a very strong uptrend. Little bit of, I would say, a negative divergence has developed here. The real peak occurred at this level, but when such a strong momentum is unfolding, we should also mark this one, right? So, fresh entries is something that I would not recommend, because pharma, if you look at this entire rally that has been unfolding and the kind of price activity it is giving, sure, is giving strong rallies, but there are also periods when it is going into these consolidations or sideways correction, and you don't want to get stuck there. So I think this rally has already occurred, and the 75-minute time frame is suggesting a negative divergence. So earlier also, if you see, the 75-minute time frame's negative divergence was a very good indication that hey, negative range shift might happen for the short term. So be a little bit careful. Once it's back in the bull range is when we want to get active in the pharma sector. So if you want to make fresh positions and if you're regretting the rally in the pharma sector, I don't think the pharma sector is what you should pay attention to. for the time being from the perspective of fresh entries. For existing positions, I strongly recommend you to trail your stop loss. Healthcare, similar observation, negative divergence here as well. And if you see, it does have a tendency to give a bit of a negative divergence before it goes into consolidation. On an index level, if the index itself is giving you a 5% upside, it does give you an opportunity to make good 10% on individual stock levels. But then, because of the consolidation, the trend can be fast changing. And ultimately, if you have to shave off a little bit from the exit level, leaves you with very little benefit. So, if you want to do swing trading, and remember, I speak everything from the perspective of swing trading because I'm hyper focused on swing trading. If you want to improve and if you want magnificent results with swing trading, it's important to catch healthy, strong trends with a lot of steam and stay away from trends which are experiencing exhaustion or lots of consolidating movements in the market. Those can be frustrating, increase your trading cost, and at the end of the day, not leave a lot of money on the table. So, hyper focus. Moving on, FMCG, what do we see on FMCG? So I am not very excited about trading FMCG stocks these days because here again you can see a real peak has been forged on the 75-minute time frame somewhere around here. Even though it has been tested once, it's been going up, still I'm not very convinced. Also, I see this massive trend line resistance which might pose as a bit of a threat for the FMCG sector overall. So I am not very much in favor of making fresh positions in the FMCG sector. Coming next to the infra sector, what are we seeing on the infra sector? Very strong upward trajectory, and the infra sector seems to be coming to this level, but I don't think I should mark that as a real high as such. The reason is that over here there is a massive negative divergence on the daily time frame, very visible. The real peak of the infra sector, that's a little bit too broad rectangle. I would change this to yellow, change the color to green, change the outline to white, and I want to mark another peak here. I want to mark, say, if we take the last momentum peak also, because it's given such a strong run up over here, if I can see this tiny little thing, what if I mark that? Making fresh positions in reality in infra stocks right now is not coming very naturally to me. You have to be very stock specific. If the stock gives you strong reason to go ahead and make fresh positions, do that. On that note, the 75-minute time frame is showing a small positive divergence here, but then again the stock has moved up a little bit. I think if the stock can the index, so the index has also, by the way, forged a higher high, that is for sure. From a short term perspective, continues to look very attractive, maybe not so much from the long term. Yeah, so definitely on the 15-minute also we are seeing a positive divergence and what looks like the beginning of a positive range shift on the infra sector. So from short term, the infra sector does look attractive. Coming to the realty sector, what is the realty sector saying? Let's take a broad look. So, similar activity on the realty sector. There was a negative divergence back in June and July. If you see my analysis, I'd been warning you against making fresh positions in the realty and the infra sector. But I think now they have come down to the last support of the trajectory and started to show positives on the lower time frame. At least the realty sector index has not shown a positive divergence, so we might expect a little bit more correction in the realty index. And also, specifically with respect to realty stocks, when I was doing some studies, I did experience or did come across some small negative divergences near the peaks, which was an indication that a little bit more downside can be expected. Focus on PSU banks first, then maybe for 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line, start monitoring infra and realty stocks for potential opportunities. What about energy sector? What is energy sector saying? Underlying trend continues to remain strong, but a little bit of an exhaustion has started to set in on the index level for sure. As you can see, there is a negative divergence over here. The momentum did carry on. It did give us a high, and then it did create another peak there, and then this one. So I won't be marking the last one because that's like almost overlapping with the previous one. So I think the underlying trend continues to remain pretty strong. What if I redraw the trend lines based on the most recent price activities trajectory. It does look like it's a little bit treading along a resistance. Whether or not this resistance is going to get breached, see, an accelerated has already happened. So, unfortunately, that's out of the scope. I would expect some correction here. So on the weekly time frame, also, if you see there is a massive negative divergence, right? I would expect the energy sector to give a little bit of a easing, maybe come down to 39,700 ish level, and then I would look for fresh entries in the energy stocks. Finance, overall finance sector is also not looking very attractive to me. I want you against the financial services sector to stay away. I think it can give a little bit more downside, or wait for it to establish a better bottom before you jump into making fresh positions in this one. Media, what about media? So, media has been on my radar because I noticed there was a positive divergence on the 75-minute time frame. I also made some money, but again, it seems like the momentum did not really sustain to the extent that I was expecting it to sustain. Excuse me. This was the last time that we saw a massive or a strong rally in the CNX media sector. Since then, it's been pretty droopy, I would say, right? It's been pretty droopy. So here on the daily time frame also, there was a positive divergence for sure, but it looks like the positive divergence has been played out, and whether or not it has more steam right now, there is not much clarity there. So metal sector is looking very interesting. Why? Because massive positive divergence. Also, specific metal stocks, if you see, a lot of them have given some very good moves or are preparing to give some good moves. So metal sector is another sector that I would suggest you keep an eye out on. Consumption sector continues to rally with strong underlying momentum. Slow movers, but stable movers. So CNX consumption, fresh positions, not right away. Wait for the index to come down, the RSI on the index. 75-minute time frame, 25 period RSI to come down to the level of 40 maybe. Not immediate, not very attractive for fresh positions. The SOX index, again, not looking. I would prefer metal, SU, and also keep an eye out on infra and realty for big movers. Plus, I am already 100% invested in cash, so I'm not looking for fresh positions. Auto sector, I think, has started a new rally, and you can see that from stocks like Bajaj Auto, which has moved up more than 5% today. And I think this rally is just beginning. So, metal, auto continue to look very attractive, and we can expect more rally to come up there. Varun Bansal is asking which rally will lead Nifty. I don't know, Varun. How is it possible to predict something like that? Just giving you an overview of all the sectors, and then we'll see which one's going to rally faster. So Varun is also asking what will be the target for Nifty. So like I said, Nifty is right now cruising between the resistance of 24,900, 24,800. If that sustains, then 25,300 is going to be the next resistance. If that doesn't sustain, then we can expect some support to come in at 24,600 on the index. All right. Samarpan Thomas is asking to share the stock query form. So the link to the stock query form has been shared in the comment. Let's see if I can just spin it from the YouTube live session itself. Let me check. Yes, so the stock query form has already been shared with the members. We will first attend to the queries that are being asked by our members on Zoom, and then we will move forward with the stock queries submitted via the form. So again, Varun, request you to please fill up the stock query form. Moving on with CNX commodity is the last, and I think there's a massive negative divergence developing here. So I am not very keen about this sector. Now I want to take a comparative look at the index sector comparison, right? My intersector chart, as I like to call it. Hopefully that is better. So now since Monday, what you can see is that the metal sector has rallied and is doing pretty well. Commodities close behind. FMCG has also done well. So this, I would say the rally that we have seen this week was not very highly anticipated. Stocks or defensive sectors have taken the lead over here. IT sector close behind. I expect the rally in the IT sector to actually continue. I think it's caught on pretty good momentum, and I do expect that momentum to continue. I don't see the private banks to rally so much, but PSU banks might come back into a little bit of power. Keep an eye out for auto and metal. Like I said, strong rally expected. Infra and reality would be the next sector 2-3 weeks down the line that we might see winning. Right now, the reality sector from a short term perspective has more downside. So this week also the reality sector seems to have been the loser. Pharma and healthcare sector, as I said, so they have not moved that much, but the underlying trend remains strong. Not very attractive for fresh positions currently, but if you are holding these stocks, do continue to hold and make sure you're trailing your stop losses. Bank Nifty, we've discussed. Finance, I'm not very excited about. So I've given you a very detailed analysis of all the sectors. With that, let us now move towards our stock query. And I can already see that our members on Zoom. So, by the way, the members who register through my Telegram channel can also join us on the Zoom meeting for priority stock queries. So all you need to do is hop over to Telegram and search Trade with Kavita, or you can also just click the link in the search button. If you're going to search Trade with Kavita on Telegram, I'm going to warn you there are some fake channels running with my name and old picture. Make sure that you're joining this channel with the exact same spelling and look at the contents. You will see information about my webinars, my daily quizzes, my daily analysis, links to my company website, ex.in, and also you'll see my signature on most of the messages, either my or my team members. And this is how you will know that this is the authentic channel. So you can see author Kavita Agrawal, CMT CFA. This means this is the authentic channel. First query that we have is from Priyanka, who wants the analysis of Spencer. So, just one more thing, if you want to register and be a priority member during these live sessions, you can register from this register here link. So, this is the webinar on the Zoom link. This is what you can register from. So, looking at Spencer's, I can see this is the daily time frame. Not a very strong trending stock. And from a short term perspective, I am also not seeing anything that would be very encouraging for me to purchase this stock. In fact, this being a momentum mover, considering that it's already close to a little bit of a resistance, I would expect the stock to go into correction. So that would be my analysis on Spencer's for you. Just when is asking for APL Apollo Tube. I like the stock, and it's been a while since I've taken a look at the stock. So I can see very strong uptrend. And let's just go to my object tree, and I want to remove these old and arrow. I also want to hide these arrow marks because right now they're a little bit distracting. Ever since I've started using the object tree window for managing my drawings, it's been great. I think it's a fabulous tool. So this is a weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is suggesting what for APL Apollo? The weekly time frame is suggesting that it experienced a bit of a negative momentum after creating a real high on the weekly time frame at this level. So this is where the momentum got exhausted. After that, it did continue to move. So maybe we can cut it some slack and give it a little bit credit for this next leg of rally. But after that, whatever momentum up to this point happened was not very strong. And then it did try to start move up again, but again it has weaned off. And coming back here, what am I seeing here again? I think the activity that I'm seeing on APL Apollo is not very promising. The stock is not able to maintain its positive range very well, which is a bit of a red flag. Coming on the 75-minute time frame, also I'm seeing mixed signals. So while the stock I know has created a reputation for a strong uptrend since the COVID lows because it's gone up 12x in just under 4 years. I don't think there is a very strong positive momentum anymore. And if you look at the historical trend of this stock has a tendency to give massive rallies and then massive correction. So massive rally is done, it might be going into correction, and you don't want to get stuck in that massive correction. Last time also, if you see, the momentum kind of peaked out here. It peaked out here. Before that, it also created a momentum peak here or a real high here. And you see this previous real high acted as a support when the entire price corrected. So there is technicals, they say the prices of stocks or prices of anything for that matter has a tendency to go 3 steps forward, and it has a tendency to go 2 steps back. So this was more like it's 2 steps back. And both the times it took support around this previous level. I'm not seeing a lot of activity here on the stock. I would wait for the stock to maybe come back and retest the 250 EMA of the weekly time frame before going forward. So, Priyanka, we'll come back to your question after I've answered for some other people. And we'll take one query at a time. So, Sahil, I look at Zomato for you. Zomato underlying trend is very strong. And let's take a look at the volume. Volume is also supporting this beautiful uptrend that is unfolding. RSI range in 75-minute time frame suggesting that, oh my God, the momentum keeps getting stronger and stronger. And this stock continues to look very attractive from both short as well as long term perspective. However, if you want to make a fresh entry, maybe not immediately, maybe just be a little bit patient, give the stock an opportunity to take a breather because it hasn't done that in quite a while. And I think it could give you an opportunity to most likely enter either around 2 or 2.1. Maybe that would be a better price zone for you to make fresh entry in Zomato. And you're saying that you got Zomato around 65. I don't know if you mean 265 or if you mean only 65. Either way, I would suggest you keep holding Zomato for long term instead of doing ambitious short term in this. Now let's take a look at, for Mr. Marjan, let's take a look at Chambal Fertilizer. What do we have on Chambal Fertilizer? So Chambal Fertilizer, I think, it's a very volatile stock, which makes it very difficult to trade in for the short term. And right now, I am expecting it to give a bit of a dip to the level of 400 is where I expect it to go. For now, I am done doing swing trading in this stock because I think it's created a bit of a momentum peak and it will want to now come back down to take a, call it a booster shot, call it a breather, whatever it is. I expect it to come down to retest the support level. Now, let's see. Superb. So on YouTube, I can see there's a very good question from Mr. Mangesh Patil. He's asking, how many stocks do I study every day? And what is my stock selection criteria? So Mangesh ji, I have a watch list of 200 stocks. And in this 200 stocks, I have ensured that they are fundamentally strong stocks and highly liquid stocks. They have lots of people trading in them and following. So liquidity is not an issue. I avoid very small cap or micro cap stocks because they tend to give price manipulation issues, liquidity issues, so on and so forth. And as a swing trader, it's very important to me that I can get in and get out of my stocks at very little cost. Now, these 200 stocks, obviously, I don't watch them every day because I like my full head of hair and I don't want to lose that very soon. So I have a system for that. So I have a 5-step system for my trading. First, I identify stocks. In order to do the identification, I have built a momentum based model called the relative strength quant model. Now, this momentum model basically tells me which stock has been displaying the most momentum and it ranks all my 200 stocks. So I study specific stocks in this list. So, say stocks which have jumped up rank from the previous day by say 20 places or 10 places, right? Or I might just study stocks which have at all moved up in terms of ranking. And doing this study actually helps me with the momentum and the volume analysis, identify those which might have something very positive building up. In addition to this model, I also use a very well defined system of alerts. I use GTT orders to purchase stocks at the predictive accumulation zone, so the real highs, instead of buying them, they're declining, and then sitting with my fingers crossed waiting for them to recover. I don't prefer to do that. So whenever you see there'll be a correction in the market, the first thing that happens is lots of stop losses get triggered in my account automatically. So even if I'm sleeping on the day that the market moves in a big way, automatically my profits will get booked and new stocks will get purchased in my account depending on wherever I've set my buy orders. All I have to do is again see and set up my standing order. So I have a very well clear cut system. And if you're interested in that, you can just join my advanced swing trade training program where I basically teach everything that I know. And also I get to learn a lot from the participants who join those classes. Wishing Rajesh ji also a very good evening. All right. Let's take a look. We have some requests from Satvik for SW Solar. So you're saying it has given a RSI positive divergence. The volume is not very impressive. All right, let's take a look at SW Solar. I really like it when I get stock queries with a little bit of a technical background, because the whole idea of me doing these live sessions is not just to tell you what to do. I want to enable you think for yourself. This is a knowledge sharing session. SW Solar, very good stock. It has liquidity issues, which makes it not very suitable for short term swing trading. But if you can hold the stock for 4, 5, 6 months, for that it is better suited. And what I can see is that the stock is in a positive range on the daily time frame. Even though there was a negative divergence here, still, despite that, the stock continues to maintain its positive range. That is, the RSI is still above the level of 40, which is good. Now, coming down to the 75-minute time frame, I am not seeing a positive divergence. Now, Satvik, you've not indicated which time frame you're seeing a positive divergence, but I'm honestly not seeing a positive divergence here. If you are talking about this, then well, that I wouldn't consider as a positive divergence, because I think it's a little bit too close to each other, so not very good. What I can, however, see is that the stock has established a higher high and a higher low, so it seems to be turning up. Now, as long as it can sustain above the 100 EMA, which is this green line here, I think this stock continues. It does look good, not for the reason of positive divergence whatsoever, but it looks like on the 75-minute time frame, it might be going for a positive range shift now, right? Because as long as it can sustain above the level of 40 on the RSI and 100 EMA is not broken, I think we're good. Now, what would the stop loss be if we are looking at an attractive trade setup? 622. And what would the target potentially be? I would at least expect the stock to retest the most recent high. So around 800 would be the target based on this analysis. So let me now pull out my stock quest form. So I am looking at some comments on ET Live currently. Ankur Kishan Malik is asking, what about mid caps for Monday? Specifically, what market cap is going to do how on a very specific day is a very particular question. And at least I, as a technical analyst, don't have a way of answering that for you. I can see lots of stock query. Even though I have shared the stock query form, I don't know why the stock query form is not being filled by members. So I would request the ET members to fill the stock query form, and I will also explain to you why the stock query form is being shared and why queries are not being resolved from the comments directly. Because if you look at SEBI regulation, it requires registered research analysts to maintain a list of all the stocks which they have spoken about on a public forum, and this is a public forum. So you need to fill up the stock request form so that I can maintain a record and be in compliance with SEBI. I'm sure you wouldn't want somebody who's not in compliance with SEBI to do your analysis. So kindly fill up the stock request form. So I can see we have some fastest finger first members with us. Before going to the stock request form, let's take a look at from Jaswinder for LTIM. So Jaswinder, we are looking at one query member. So I'm going to look at LTIM for you now, and then I'll look at some stock queries and we'll come back to your next question. So here I can see negative divergence was forged, and then the stock has corrected, which is good. Real peak number one, real peak number two, and then this entire thing was a bit of a momentum move, inertia move, but that's okay. What are we seeing here? So this was a high. Now it has already taken support and started to go back up. But is it a good time to take fresh position? So LTIM did give a massive daily time frame positive divergence. And sorry, my chart is a little bit messy here, but don't worry about that. You can ignore all of that. I was doing a little bit of experimentation. I don't think this wave C is going to come here. It looks like the wave C has already been exhausted here itself within the upward trajectory, right? So this could be the beginning of a very fresh new rally. From a long term perspective, I think this stock can rally up and retest around the level of 7,500 from a long term perspective. Short term, does this stock look attractive from short term? I don't think so. I get the sense that I want to wait for the stock to retest the trend line once again before making any kind of fresh entry. Because if you look at the past trajectory of the stock, right, it gives massive swing movements, big wavy movements. And here it has already given a bit of a rally after a correctionary wave. So I would expect some pullback. And I would find the level, any price below the level of 5,000 very attractive for the stock to potentially make a purchase. So what I'll do is I will set an alert at the level of 5,000 and I will set a message assess and leave it at that. Right now, I don't want to make any fresh entry because I think the rally is a little bit behind us on this. So Satvik is asking how to see stock charts after splits. So Satvik, I know CDSL has given a massive split. Within 1-2 days, you will see. Trading View will adjust the charts and then you can study it. All right. So moving on to the stock query form, I can see Nitin has asked for the analysis of PSB. Made a position in hopes for better day of banks starting September. What should be my target? So never make trading decisions based on hope, right? Just make it based on objective analysis. We have so much knowledge in this world and we have access to so much information these days. All right, so we have Nitin with us on YouTube, and let me, yeah, that gives me better visibility. Like I was saying, Nitin has asked for this analysis. PSB, Punjab and Sindh Bank. I not a very big fan of this bank. I think it's a little bit too volatile for my taste. A very volatile stock means go up faster, but it'll also come down faster. And in the market, if you spend enough time, you will realize that survival skill set. If you survive, you will thrive. But if you position yourself for failure when the market goes against you, not a very good strategy. It will not sustain you for a very long time. The underlying momentum is very strong, but the stock is currently in consolidation. It has given a touchdown to the previous high, and it is also within its own consolidation zone. It's very close to the 100 EMA, which is historically, if you see, this green line, the 100 EMA, has been a good support level. Okay, fine, I will give it to you. It doesn't look terrible at this stage. But again, given the nature of the stock, you will have to go in with a bit of a liberal stop loss. So right now the price is 60.38. So the tightest stop loss you can keep is 56.9 for a target of the previous high getting retested 26. Now, if this jumps within the trajectory and goes for the next resistance trend line, then the target attractiveness increases significantly because then the next liberal target. So the conservative target for you is around 77. The next target is around 100, which in either scenario, I think the risk reward ratio right now is pretty attractive. So you should continue to hold on to PSP. Next, Raj is asking for a 6 to 12 month target on the stock CUB, City Union Bank. So let's see, City Union Bank. So clearly it's been a while. So I'm gonna delete my drawings. City Union Bank is stuck in a range, but within this range, it seems to be taking very strong support at around 119 and at the same time taking resistance. So I would suggest from a long-term perspective, I want to see the stock staying above the level of 200 with strong volumes before I make a position. Right now, it's very difficult to say what we're going to do in the next 6 months until and unless it breaks out of the zone. The daily time frame is, however, showing a negative divergence here, which doesn't make me very comfortable. So it looks like it's already prepared to take a resistance around the level of 200. Last time, also, if you see, the stock started to give a negative divergence as it approached the resistance zone. So I'm not very comfortable with what is visible right now. So my suggestion to you would be to avoid this for the time being. Next, we have Amit, who's with us on the Market Live stream. And Amit has a question about Shipyard. So let's take a look at Shipyard for you. See, the underlying trend is super. And what I like about it is that it has a very predictable pattern, which is it gives massive rallies, comes back to retest the real high marked on the 75-minute time frame, which for now is around the level of 2000. And if you look at the 75-minute time frame, it's already started to show a tiny little positive divergence. So I am personally feeling positive about Shipyard and would expect this stock to do better in the days to come, because up to the last high candle that it has forged, the momentum continued to remain very strong. The volume participation continued to remain very strong, which is in simpler layman language to that the participation, the trend, the momentum, everything is very good in the stock and it is set for upward movement in the future. Cochin Shipyard continues to look pretty strong to me based on all of these observations. Okay, let's see. Next query we'll take from Pratibha, who's asking for the analysis of KPEL from Instagram. This is a BSE only stock, not listed on NSE. So again, like I said, it's a very illiquid stock, and as a result of that, I may not be able to do great justice to it. The underlying RSI momentum continues to stay in the bull range, and also the 75 is showing a small positive divergence. So I think you may want to see, this is why I don't like the stocks like this. Over here, the stop loss that I can give you is around, it has to be 23-25%. Upside is also 20%. So the overall risk reward ratio is not at all attractive. There is nothing stopping the stock from going and testing the 250 EMA. So you have to take that into consideration. So I don't think this is attractive at all from a short term perspective. So I don't think you should get attracted to stocks like this, because on the daily time frame it's showing a big negative divergence. So it can break below the 100 EMA and go for the next EMA support, even the 500 EMA support, which is the gray line. So I would suggest, I personally would not be very inclined to the stock. Let's take a look at Ujjivan. Let's look at Ujjivan. Will it run up next week? I don't know. But on the daily time frame, it seems to be building up a positive divergence. But a daily time frame positive divergence is not going to tell you anything about next day, next week. It talks more about what might happen next quarter. Like I said, the financial services or these stocks like Ujjivan, they don't look very attractive immediately. You have to wait for them to form their bottoms a little bit better, give better signals, and then maybe move towards asking, what should I do? Right now, they are still in a bit of a gestation period. So I would suggest avoid fresh position for the time being. Let's take a look at Samarpan's request for Imami. Samarpan is with us on YouTube. What should be your target? And for the rest of the long query that you've asked, I suggest you book a one on one session with me so we can have a proper discussion. Without knowing your profile and your background, I am unable to help you out with such specific questions. So Imami Limited is showing a bit of a negative divergence on the 75 and the daily time frame. So I would not recommend making a fresh position in this stock. We have a request on Zoom from our member. Sahil Mahajan is asking for the analysis of PVR Inox. So let's take a look at PVR. I know. I can see members on ET live stream asking what should be target for SBI Bank. See, apart from telling you to fill the stock request form, it's anyways too late because we are almost closing in on the session. So I obviously won't be able to get to you in a chronological manner. But one thing that I really want to bring to your notice or leave you with a food for thought is that when you do trading in the market, you need to realize that this is a very high risk form of participation. And everything in the market is dynamic, everything is a moving part. The only thing that's constant is your strategy, your approach, your discipline in the market. Now, in such a scenario, if you are making trading decisions based on advice from someone you are not connected with, you might as well donate your money, because you have to understand that what I am doing here is for education purpose. It's truly for education purpose, because if you want my help properly, I would suggest you get connected with me, so that tomorrow if my view changes, I can at least let you know. Or at least if you see my view has been invalidated, you can come back to me and ask me, hey, you suggested a stop loss and that got triggered. What should I do next? Because buying and selling a stock, your journey doesn't end there. You need to continuously improve. And if you're not connected with me or with an analyst that you depend on, you're gambling in the market. And that's not a very good approach. If you look at these sessions from the perspective of let's go learn something new to improve my process, that's great. But if you're coming here thinking that on these platforms I can get free advice, and so I don't have to associate with a professional, then good luck with your goals in the market. The market is not going to be very generous that way. So, anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Specifically about PVR Inox, what I think is that there is a positive divergence on the daily time frame, and this positive divergence has a potential target somewhere around 1800. The stock is also moving up, but it's experiencing a lot of resistance from the 500 EMA, and the daily time frame seems to be showcasing a little bit loss of momentum. But PVR Inox is a stock which is not very suitable for short term trading because it has a bit of a mixed personality. It likes to sometimes move like a momentum mover, sometimes it becomes a super trender. It takes a lot of patience for sure. So, if you are holding the stock from a long term perspective, and by long term I mean around 6 months to 1 year in this specific case, I would suggest you maintain stop loss around the level of 1345 and a target of, like I said, around 1840, and just hold. Don't try to do active trading in this particular stock because it's not very crafted for that kind of participation. So, with that, I will wrap today's Market Outlook series. Thank you so much for joining in and giving me your time and attention. If you liked the content that was shared, if you liked my knowledge and my experience on technical analysis, then please don't forget to give a thumbs up before you leave. Leave a kind comment, makes my day to know that the 1 hour or 2 hours that I chalk out for this is actually contributing to making a difference in somebody's life. And also, if you want to watch this content in Hindi, I would strongly recommend you to subscribe to my YouTube channel where a translated version of this video will be loaded in a couple of days. If English is not your strong suit, you can definitely watch this entire video in Hindi as well after 1 or 2 days. So, with that, thank you so much for joining in. I will see you again in the Let's Get Technical series, which will be on Wednesday at 5 p.m. And if you want to also join me on Zoom and be one of the priority members, then don't forget to join my Telegram channel for also other things like daily quizzes and links to my website, links to booking calls with me. If all of those things are something that you're interested in, then joining my Telegram channel is the step that you need to follow. So thank you so much for joining in.